July.
Don't
She was
give
having a
away
senior
half
moment.
of my summer, please.
That's our July meeting.
I lost 4 weeks. We're not sorry.
You just skipped my
We
road
love it.
trip.
All right. We are convening the June 13th, 2023 Mapleton School District School Board meeting. And we always start our meeting by reading our mission is to provide a supportive and safe learning environment where all students are encouraged and empowered to reach their educational and personal potential. That's new.
No,
That's-
it's not.
The mission's not new, it's just the mission.
The
like,
vision
yeah.
has the other stuff that you're thinking of.
Yeah, we switched it around.
Oh, was I around when that happened? God, I should pay attention.
You were present.
All right. Duly noted. I'm just a little, for all of you people in the audience, I'm just going to say that this is the public school board meeting where the school board actually conducts business. So it's not really a public meeting where we just banter back and forth. We have 2 places where we have public comment, and if you want to speak, we'll let you speak shortly, like little amounts. But it's not an open meeting because we have to conduct our business, and that's just housekeeping. Thank you. Okay, any changes to our agenda?
There were a couple additions in personnel from the one that was sent out, but other than that, and Kurt's not here for number 4 Wilson Architecture, so
Okay,
We're doing
we
all
can
right,
give a small update.
a
Yeah.
small update.
okay. Hi, Richie girl.
It was on before.
It was, okay.
There's a loyal school.
Oh, it is.
ally.
832, yeah. That was cool.
That's right. Public comment is now, so normally we require you to sign up. You probably didn't. Do you have something for the benefit of the evening to share? Nada? Thanks for coming. You're welcome.
You gotta
Thanks
sign
for-
up. You gotta sign up to say that.
There's a form
Thank you
on
for
it.
coming here.
Thanks for making Mizu and I not have to drive to Mapleton.
I walked here.
Oh, God.
Wow.
That is great.
Amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so no Wilson Architecture. We're going to go straight into district reports, and that would be the middle school and high school report.
Did you want to give an update for Wilson?
Yeah, for Wilson,
We did make contact, so we can give just a short update
Oh,
on the
all right.
temperance.
so
Yep.
just a quick update. They've been out on campus a couple times. They're compiling the reports. They need to have the asbestos PBS company come out and do all the sampling. But he'll be here in August with a full report. He's out on site today somewhere. So,
Okay,
but
thanks,
that's
Jen.
what we got.
All right.
I'll jump in. So we wrapped up a school year. We made it. So,
Okay.
couple different things I just wanted to share out for awards and recognition. I just want to publicly acknowledge our Principal Award of Excellence went to 2 students this year, senior, who will be returning to us as a 5th-year senior, new to Mapleton, Sam Cody, and then a junior, Kate Hurley. I almost said Huber. I was like, that's not true. So both of those students have demonstrated just awesome leadership and involvement and growth through the year, and especially looking back to, I wasn't here the year prior, but their years prior and their stories, this is the year where they truly are starting to shine and really show that value in education, and other students are following and their leads in various ways. And so all of us are proud of them, and a lot of the students. We're acknowledged. We did class awards, and then I just want to share, we acknowledge students with 95% and above attendance, but also 90%, and the number of students at the middle school, high school standing and getting pictured in that was, I should have ran the numbers and I haven't yet for this meeting, but I would say close to above 80% of our students, that was for the school year there. So we're standing and acknowledged there. And my favorite story was I had the next day, one of our students, I'll share his name. Yeah. Alex Burnett came up. Actually, a student or a teacher advocated for him first and said, "Guys, attendance is so good. Did we overlook him?" And I went and looked it up, and he was 89.3. But because he had been sick, like he missed a significant chunk sick during, like right after basketball season or during. And so he came to me. I found him. I said, "You're going to be at 90% in a couple days. Just finish the year out." And so we got him his award, and he's like, "Yes." And so they're like, it matters, and they care, and they're coming to school and doing the things. And a shout out to our teachers and Joy specifically, like she is the attendance person, like really messaging and valuing. And so we have students, we go knock on their door that live close by, and like, "You're not in first period, let's go." And they're starting to text each other and call and do those things, the students to each other. And then like one class in particular, if there's kids missing, they all, when they come in late, they all greet them like out in the hallway and like, "You're here, let's go." And so it's fun to watch that culture is changing of like, get your butt to school. So,
and it's not just about statistics, it's about they need to be.
This is where you learn.
That's where you learn. Right?
Yeah, and we talk about, and this messaging will be even stronger to start the year off next year, but 90% attendance, like we get specific about that, what that means is missing only 1 day every 3 weeks. And so while we don't want to tell people when to miss, like them seeing that and then being able to ask, like, "Where is your attendance at? If you missed 2 days, now you got 6, the next 3 weeks you don't miss another day." And so we're having those conversations with students, and it's working. So,
Great.
and now they get to rest and not come to school every day. But a lot of them are there. I just want to celebrate, since our seniors graduated, I'm pretty sure I've seen every one of them at school every day. And it makes me so happy that they don't go away. And let's see, this summer, so right now we have basketball camp going. We have kids signed up for a number of camps, including a Med Splash and a computer science camp that I'm not remembering the name of right now. And then a lot of students, tons of students signed up for the Gear Up camp. We're waiting for names and slots back. So we'll be calling families as soon as we get verification of how many slots. We get at least 16, and we're hoping for closer to 25, 28. So that's at the end of July.
And what is
I need
Med
my
Splash?
calendar. Med Splash is a 2-week, it's a 2-week, come on, Sue. So the Lane ESD and the CTE Consortia runs it, and it's exposure to lots of the medical field. And so there's some field trips over to Riverbend and a few other, I don't know all the specifics for the industry visits, but then some learning of basic skills, like I think they do some CPR training and some other training inside of that, but then expand into other, it's like exposure to the medical
Gotcha.
fields.
Yeah, cool.
And both Eve and Brian applied for that and were accepted, and we're excited. So, yeah. There's a lot more, but it's the end of the year. We're in hiring mode right now. You'll see most names there, and then we've got a few more to land. But since then, we've been doing a lot of interviewing. So, you want to do elementary?
It's over. Oh, but there's more. So lots of field trips this year. The last week we ended on a trip to Echo Hollow Pool. They remodeled. I hadn't been there since the 70s, so that was fun. And it was a great day. So all of our kindergarten through 6th grade went swimming, and lots of parents, and it was a great day. I really liked it. We had play day, which included some water slides, or they forgot the water, but we had a parent volunteer who was willing to spray kids with a garden hose. And I don't know how I feel about her being a board member, but you know what? If the criteria for being a board member is orneriness, Abby was the only one smiling by the end of the day. No, honestly. So she made lemonade. I was frustrated because I had talked to the gentleman the day before, and I'm like, okay, so, and he said, you need 2 points of water, da 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 da. And then that day, he shows up at 6 o'clock and says, hey, I didn't bring the hoses, she didn't mention it. And I'm like, oh, I mentioned it. So,
Wow.
but she made lemonade because she got to spray kids, and it was a fun day. It was a great play day. We gave kids T-shirts. We had snow cones. It was just a really fun day. And
There's some jealousy in the middle school and high school that they
There
didn't
sure
get.
was.
Yeah.
That's what I heard about.
yeah.
In their defense, they also had a scavenger hunt and a fun day and
It was the
all
water,
the
it was
things,
the
the
bouncer
water.
houses and water and
Yeah.
snow cones.
Abby, we're gonna spray them in the hallway
And
next
T-shirts.
year.
It was a great day.
Yes.
It really was fun. And
Yep.
as I reflect on the year, one of the greatest things that's happened, and I've mentioned this a few times, is Abby working with the school to develop a PTA. It's something that has been needed for a while, and it is like beyond appreciated. And we've had time to work together, and I just know it's going to grow because it's just so powerful. And it's just nice. I'm like, oh, do you think you guys could do this? And bam, it was done. And the power of the group and the energy. And we're really hoping that as elementary kids, as those kids get older, that the parents, you know, grow with them and bring on new people, and that eventually we have a really nice pre-K-12 booster club, PTA organization, and by all accounts, great first year for that.
Can I jump in on it? And
Yes.
hosted the high school dance, and so originally both of those were going to be on campus, but it turned into a special high school dance for them over at the Lions Club. So thank y'all for leading that. The kids loved it.
Awesome.
So.
Are you a PTA or are you a PTO?
PTO.
All right then.
I
Just-
guess, because PTA is trademarked and,
Oh,
yeah, so.
okay, well, you don't want to step
I
on
gotta
toes.
check them out.
Half the time I put /booster, and we'll just make it everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually refer parent group is what because it is, but it's been amazing. So thank you
Yes.
again, Abby. I've told her multiple times, but I don't think it could be said enough, because I think as we look at growing a community school with Sue's vision, just that involvement and the comfort and honestly just the resource, the time and energy resource. You know, here it is at the end of May, and I can call a parent and they have energy still somehow. But at the end of summer, I'm going to have energy and they're not. So sorry. Nobody's going to be ready for school the first day like you, huh? Not really. So yeah, any other questions? Just what a great year, and lots of field trips, lots of fun. Just it's been great.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. Any questions for our administrators? Okay, we're going to move on to our finance tech maintenance report. What you got for us, Karen?
Well, for maintenance, Randy's getting closer on the well, and the filtration for it, he's having to have it kind of custom built, it sounds like, to handle the level of flow that we need. But so, getting closer on that.
Custom designed. I think we can build it here, but it had to go out for special design or something.
What it needs, yeah.
Rules.
And our water bill for this past month was about double what it was the previous month, and Randy had turned on the water up to the football field again, and thinking that there's a leak there, so he's shut it back off. And we wondered if there was a leak before, but
So, is this still a mystery, or do we know?
yep,
Okay.
See what happens turning that back off.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
there was there was something that was posted that the water district ran their bills like 5-6
extra
days later,
but
so
yeah.
they're going to be bigger, but the amount of bigger that was significant, and so
Yeah.
we're trying to. He said he's going to go turn that off and see what happens there, and we'll keep exploring this. So,
Okay.
on a positive note, we did not run the tanks dry. So, there's that.
Well, there's that.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, a couple bills. We had replaced the HVAC, I think on the weight room. That's the 5900 for card heating. I think it was the weight room. And some more work on HVAC, FM sheet metal. For Grant, where's the Schiffler 4800? That was preschool shelving, bookshelves, storage things for the preschool. Our workers' comp switching over to Safe Corporation from Special Districts. Special Districts isn't doing it anymore, so to have them on there for updating to them. And had the election results come in and have certified it, so effective July 1st, Michelle and Mary and Abby are all officially elected. So, and technology.
and they said we could have 6, so Mary Ellen. That was a polite no.
And technology, well, let's see, other business, submitted all of our grant reimbursement information, wrapped up payroll for the year, and got all of our grant stuff submitted. And moving on to technology and working on some update stuff on it. So,
Is that your summer project? Excellent. Any questions for Jaren? Okay, thanks, Jaren. Now we're going to move on to our consent agenda, which is the payroll check register, accounts payable check register, and prior month's minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve 7.1, 2, and 3 of consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Fantastic, passes unanimously, thank you. Now we're going to go to our action items. Personnel, we've got hires. You can all see these. Garrett Blanchard, high school teacher.
Yeah, so he's our new English language arts teacher.
Oh, who's he replacing?
Dr. Kate Huber is
Oh,
moving
right,
to
right,
the
right, right.
Netherlands.
Right.
Netherlands, yeah. And comes with a background in teaching theater, speech and debate, and guitar as well. And so it comes with
Yay.
performance-based background, teaching English through those avenues. So we're excited. And he and his wife are moving from Idaho. So they were out Montpelier, Idaho.
They have a bunch of kids they're bringing with them, so
They
that
do
we
not.
can add to our
So-
ADM.
Tell them they have to get started.
Yeah.
That seems appropriate. Contingents on your hiring.
That's right.
We have enrollment. Come on.
And then, well, you can continue with that.
Oh, I'll keep going. Let's see. So Kay Graham is going to split the high school admin job, and Gear Up will fall under her responsibilities connected to that. Originally, she had applied to come help us lead that Gear Up grant, and then it worked out where we needed.
And yes, that is
some
the same
admin.
Kay Graham. Yes.
Yeah, so she's, and the cool thing, so this all kind of felt meant to be, when we received the Gear Up grant back, I don't know, February or something, I'm making up, I don't know, no time, but somewhere around February, she emailed, I knew her from when I working at the ESD, and when she was in Lowell, we worked really closely on their SIA plan, and she sent me an email and was like, congratulations on Gear Up, that's my favorite grant, it's such a good resource. I'm retiring again for like the 3rd time. I'm not good at being retired though, and I started my career in Mapleton and would love to come full circle, so tell me what you need. And I'll come do it. And I was like, well, that was my easiest recruitment ever. And so, and originally we talked about like coming and doing, even as classified staff, supporting Gear Up, and then it turned out we needed an admin, and I was like, well, this seems like
Ideal.
it might work out.
Serendipity.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So,
exactly.
yeah, so Kay's rejoining Mapleton, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Zach Burt, who, if everybody remembers last meeting, accidentally showed up to our board meeting in a Sayusla hat and was
You sure did.
crowned with a Mapleton hat and cheered and chanted. It worked because the next day he called me up and said, hey, I'm thinking about other possibilities, and would you want to meet? And I said, absolutely. And so he will be not only our head football coach at the high school level, but we've also hired him as an educational assistant at the middle school, high school, and we're excited for his background in journalism to big on kind of performance-based learning and demonstration of learning. And so if you look at Garrett and his background in performance, and then Zach and his background in journalism and producing and performing written work for an authentic audience, and then Heidi Sundstrom is also going to come up from the preschool up to she's not a new hire, so she's not on this list, but she's going to move from the preschool up to the middle school, high school, and she has a background in video production, and so we've got kind of this huge skill set of performance-based humanities work. So,
And she's excited.
yeah, we're excited for all of them. So, and then let's see, I lost my spot here. Craig. Craig Putnam will be our middle school football coach. He is excitedly organizing middle school. I don't know if we call it practices or camps or what in the summer, but they're getting together. They're doing football things. He's going to run the weight room for both the middle school, high school in July, and brings a lot of energy to engaging the kids. And he's been coaching our, I want to say third and fourth, I might be making somebody correct me, but our little ones in basketball, and comes with a lot of energy. And then we just hired, this was yesterday, so Kelsey Allen, Kalea, and I could say, so Kelsey and Kalea will be at the elementary level, and Haley Strinke at preschool. 1, 2, 3.
She's taking Heidi's.
That's right. Heidi's spot. Yep. So, and then we interviewed this morning for preschool lead and are working on that hiring process. So, stay tuned.
All right. So Zach is kind of replacing Abigail then as the EA for high school.
Yeah, and Danita. Yeah, so Abigail and then Danita retired.
Right.
And then Renee retired. So these are all replacements of retirees, and yep. And then Abigail did submit her resignation. We knew that earlier on. It just hadn't been submitted yet. And is doing more things Sweet Creek Ranch related. And so we will definitely miss her. She is a talented, if you see her, please, she is a talented educator, and when she decides to become a counselor is my hope. She is, or a special education teacher, she could do any of it, but she is talented. So.
Is that what she's looking to do?
Not yet.
We're just putting it out there.
I have tried, believe me.
They run a residential program for kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
And her mom is the primary, and so she's helping her mom to do, they have 2 to 3 students at a time, transition age adults, young adults that they work with. So she has a colleague that is part of her service to education. It's just a bummer it's not directly
With us.
enabled to-
I was going to say,
not
she is
directly-
doing that. She doesn't need the certification and stuff to do it at home. And where she's doing it's amazing. And she's been doing that all along. It's just those hours have gotten more and more. So she will be missed.
Okay, well, I entertain a motion for 8.11 and 8.12. We can do those together, correct?
I believe so.
Yes.
I move that we approve personnel 8.11 and 8.12.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Okay, the Mapleton Certified Employees Agreement.
One quick question. So the only thing really left then is the preschool, like, lead.
Yes. There's a reason so one
And
of the
then
candidates, potentially that opens an EA position. So
Oh, okay.
the preschool is
It
the
could
remaining.
be someone that
Exactly.
then you have to replace.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that's,
it's like a circle.
yeah,
Okay.
that was my stall there.
So one more position, just depends who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to talk about the Certified Employees Agreement?
We
I mean,
negotiated,
it's
they
actually-
accepted.
It's actually, is it an action item now? Because I've signed it, so.
Yeah, I think it has to like publicly get
Yeah,
approved,
Okay, oh,
but
that's-
we,
okay.
just
We
yeah.
to-
we didn't as a board vote.
Well, yeah, there was like the one last
Classified.
step.
The classified.
Yeah.
But that's the
That's the
classified, this is
certified.
the certified.
Yeah. So since last meeting, I remember now, since last meeting, so we had done the salaries already before
Right.
the last meeting, then we went through and updated some language, in tandem, and now we have it.
And Mizu, you can actually vote on this. I mean,
can?
if it's not, I was reading something, I mean, Lou's a teacher and so he's affected by it, but there's not something real specific to him. It talked about, if there was language in there that if you had a doctorate, you'd get a $10,000 bonus and he's the only person with a doctorate, then it's a little more targeted. But this thing said, it's all the teachers, it's not that specific person and stuff. And so it said you can.
Okay, I was definitely planning on abstaining, but yeah, it still feels like I should. But like, it's good to know, because if we had didn't have everybody here and needed the numbers for a vote or something, then I could do. I think I'll probably abstain just because that feels more comfortable. But I appreciate knowing that, and in the future we might need it.
And where did you get that info from? Is that from OSBA or?
Yeah, from, what was it? I don't know where I was looking at, but yes.
Okay.
A very official source.
Google. Facebook.
Google the
Yeah, right. Well, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the certified employees agreement.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. That's 4 of us. All those abstaining, that would be 1 of us. Motion carried. Updated school calendar. We had a change.
Yep, sorry, it's in
2
December, January. Yeah, so the holiday break in December, the original last month, started on the week of Christmas, the 25th, and that was not the intention. It was intended to be aligned with all the districts in the county, and it switched. We
And
missed.
apparently
So.
they're all doing it wrong.
Yes. That's what Karen says.
But we were just the bigger district and we,
Yep,
decided to.
pull them over. So yeah, and
our way.
it matches the university too. Like everybody's kind of aligned there. So this is just a shift in those dates from up 1 week.
And
So
you can't really see the coloring on this one, but the Wednesdays are shaded. The one that I emailed you was colored.
yeah,
You
There's-
can see.
similar.
There's one of them, the 12th of June next year, that didn't, I had the shaded version and colored version, and it wasn't colored
I think I left that day off since it was the last.
the last Wednesday
And so, yeah, I figured it was.
on purpose. Okay, I just wasn't, that's what I wanted to make sure it was on purpose.
Yeah, I that's fine. That week gets so wonky with different celebrations and stuff that makes sense. So.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any more questions about our school calendar updated? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the updated school calendar for 23-24.
Second.
Did you
Second,
say-
that was me.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you very much.
Who moved and seconded? That was-
Mary Ellen and Mary.
Sorry, to Mary, yeah.
Okay, so the next item is adopt our budget and post taxes. Any updates on that, or are we just gonna, yeah, I can entertain a motion.
I move approval of budget and post taxes as determined.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Raise your hands. Passes unanimously, thank you. And the superintendent contract. So, Sue and I met on Monday to talk about salary, and we agreed that we would change the language of the contract, because right now Sue is a .75, we're gonna move her to a 1.0, and the adjustment on her salary needs to reflect that. So, do you have that number?
Although, it's off of a 125.
Yeah.
So the .75 was like 93.7
Right.
or something, I can't remember, but the 1.0 is the 125.
And then we agreed on a 1% COLA. So if that sounds good to everybody, I can entertain a motion. We can discuss if that's, if there's questions about it, but otherwise I would say it's time to make a motion.
I move that we approve the superintendent contract with her at 1.0 FTE and the 1% COLA.
A second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor? Passes unanimously.
Hey, I got
Hey.
a job.
Welcome
I'll call
back.
home.
Yes.
Not from here, there's no social.
Just kidding.
All right. Okay, the discussion items, the building formerly known as the pool. There's, what do we have here? Is that, well, that's Kurt.
Yeah, I think, waiting.
Let's wait till next month.
Yeah, August.
Or August, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
he's going to be here
Oh,
in,
August, yeah.
because we do the pre-meeting there, right? Or before the school year, August, we do a meeting. Yeah, so I think he's planning to be at that meeting, right?
Okay. All right. Tribal shared history.
I just want to acknowledge and share the Sforza fair event at the end of the school year. It is in May sometime. It was cool. So I think, so we had all the classwork from all ages, artwork, and student learning. I have no words today, sorry. They gave me a job and I lost my words. Say it again.
We had a gallery.
Gallery,
We
yeah,
had a
just all the
gallery, yeah.
things, and then on display, beautiful work, and then the Confederated Tribes of Kusla, Umpqua, and Sayusla came and, or their tribal council came and joined, executive council came and joined us, and did a traditional salmon bake that Jesse had helped our, Jesse Beers had helped our students both build the pit and prepare the fish. It was beautiful, and acknowledgement of each other and that relationship. And now in the gym, up above when you come in, up above the track scoreboard, their tribal flag is up on the wall there. And then our 9th graders and the project that I had shared about with Dr. Kate and the language revitalization project. So it's real now, and so you'll see sound charts up all over campus, and bring your phone when you see them. So there's QR codes, and then the audio files, you play it and it'll read the sound chart to you, and then all over campus, and I'm picking up more of them tomorrow. They're ready to pick up at Ship and Check. Have words that the 9th graders said are important to our community and to teach, and so they'll be all over. Right now when you go in the staff bathroom and wash your hands, there's one right there that is about hand washing. And so, and it's a chance to bring your phone to the bathroom. You can hear the words and practice those, and the point is that we're revitalizing that language and in the words that matter most. And then sailor is one of those words, and so we had the shirts that say, I should have practiced saying it before I got here. I gotta listen to it 100 more times. But Mapleton, it's like six kayaks, I think.
I can't say
Yeah,
it correctly.
see, we gotta
either,
practice.
but
We
I
gotta
have
listen.
it.
Yeah, you have that raspy H, the seek kayak.
Okay, there we go. See, I need it in
And
my
it
ear.
actually is steersman. We don't have a sailor
Yeah,
in our
so-
culture, but we do have a steersman, like the steersman of a canoe. So it's,
Yeah,
you know,
so
it's pretty.
brings that
Brings
language.
it right back to the water.
Yeah, so we're excited. They're beautiful, and going up more and more. So you'll see those as we go. So
That was a super special afternoon, evening, super special. I mean, I got teary-eyed on the drive home. It was so impactful and so meaningful, and so many people got to be there and feel it. And I don't know. I kind of had to pinch myself to believe this was all happening. And the raising of the tribal flag at our gym just feels like a really important acknowledgement of where our school is.
There's something about sharing community over a meal too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, eating together, that's a pretty
Yes.
beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
But I also just wanted to say one more thing that you didn't miss, or just kind of glossed over. But we had the clubs, like the music club and the poetry.
yeah, there was poetry from different classes. Yep.
And they got up and performed at the end of the night and shared that art with us too. It was so wonderful.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited to just keep building that. And I think I've said this about Sports Up before, but it's part of being a community school and showcasing learning is to have these public events, and it makes it so much easier to walk in and say like, oh, Spores Affair has been a thing for X number of years, which X is a big number, and reinvigorate it post-COVID. And so building on that legacy has been fun, and the work of the teachers and the students to do exciting projects and showcase students in that way, that's the most special part of the year to me. So
And it's twice now.
Yeah, that's what I
doing-
was just gonna say, because it used to just be one time.
Yeah,
right?
so
like
we'll
when
do
my
a-
other daughter was in school, now it's.
yeah, we'll do a winter and a spring every year. Those
Yeah.
dates are almost those will be on the calendar shortly, but kind of set in stone from the start. We know what we're aiming for and backwards planning from there. And my expectation, and I just think it'll happen. It'll continue to grow and be the thing. To put it on your calendar and come to it. So, and I will share at the end of the outdoor part of the evening before we went inside to hear the music and poetry. Chief Doc Slider, yeah, is that how you say his last name?
Yeah, Slider.
He's so sweet, and he's like, I mean, this was good. This should be annual. I was like, well, when Chief says it's annual, it's annual. So that'll be part of that celebration continuing. So, yeah, it was great. So.
All right. Screen time. This was a discussion item that was on last time. And I think I did send articles to the board members about what can we do. There is, just for the audience, there is an actual class action lawsuit happening. 60 school districts around the U.S., it's just starting, but and gaining momentum, are suing Facebook and I believe Instagram and maybe TikTok. I'm not sure who all they're suing, but they're saying that it's costing the districts more money in counseling because kids are messed up. And we really, yes, the cow is out of the barn, but that doesn't mean that the adults in the room can't put some parameters around how the cattle behaves. So we want to have this conversation. We want to invite, there's many ideas floating around, and Sue and I have been talking, and I've been talking with other board members in other communities, but to have have a conversation with parents so that parents can come and talk about strategies and learn and inform our staff about what they think. Of course, plenty of parents are just as delinquent as their children. All of us are probably attached to these things a bit. So, I think it's all of us have a problem, but because we're stewards of children, we need to be forward thinking. And there are many districts that kids can't bring their phone into the classroom, into the school. And I know actually there was discussion in Mapleton about that. But we just need to expose and challenge the harm that's being done.
One of the things that's a benefit to Mapleton, if I can just chime in a little bit, is that many of our kids do not have paid plans through like Verizon or AT&T, and so they're bound by the Wi-Fi rules, and there's a filter on that, so kids have less access to social media theoretically.
Right, though I think it's an equity issue, because those kids that don't have data plans, don't have the same access that other kids do, and so then it creates some issues for those kids that don't.
But that's not on the school, right? Like,
I
that's
don't
on
know.
the fact of whether my kid has a plan that has its own Wi-Fi, and then yours didn't. That's not really on the school. Otherwise, it's just nobody gets it, which is
maybe there are some times where like kids use like Facebook Messenger to contact their family, and that's the only way they can. Well, that's the easiest way for them to do it. That doesn't cost money, and so like they can't do that then. They can't use because that's blocked,
because
and so
you
they
can do
can't
that
use
through just Wi-Fi, and you can't get on Facebook on the school's Wi-Fi.
Right. So it's not. I think there's lots of aspects to it. I just wanted to bring that up as like one of something that was. Yeah.
But it's,
Tied up in
the part I see, I benefit from it both ways. Sure, I can talk to my kid when she's at school, and with our crazy schedule, it's been beneficial to us. But also, I call Jamie whenever I need to, and I can't just expect an answer from my kid in class, even though I'm trying to figure out my life right now. Do I come and get you? What do I do? So I just call Jamie and be like, I need to talk to Morgan on the phone right now. That was how we always did it. And I don't have a problem with that, because at least then I know she's being attentive instead of like, oh, she saw my message because she was already looking at it. I know at our school, they lock their cell phones up in a locker up in the front of the building. They have a key, and they can come. They use it at breaks. They use it at lunch. They can come and ask me to use it, and I'm like, sure, just call your parent right here, or you can use my phone to call your parent if that's really what you're doing. We use that at mine, and there's options like that. Yeah, we'd be the evil people if we limited their stuff, but there are other methods they could do. It worked before, so.
And it's not just phones. I think when we talk about screen time, it's cumulative. There's their computers, and they're on their I don't know what
The little Chromebook stuff.
the Chromebooks. And then when it comes to they come home, how many parents know how much time their kids are on screens all day long? We should know this. We should have the statistics. We should know what we're talking about so that we can respond to parents. And parents, it's kind of like the candy, you get candy on the bus if you're good. You get candy for this. Then they come home and you're the parent. And you're like, how much candy did you have today? Maybe I want to give you candy. I'm not giving you candy because you had it all day long. So, I just think it's time. It's just time societally to take a time out and start and have these conversations, because we are responsible, and I don't think we're just being jerked along by our devices. I think we are acquiescing and giving up, and I don't want to see us do that, especially since the statistics are glaring about especially teenage mental health. And it's, of course it's been exacerbated by COVID, but I just think it's time to talk about it. And I don't know what the pleasure of the board is this is like a preliminary conversation, but I,
Well, because it did change a lot, like after COVID, because that's how they did everything, was electronically. And I know I had a big problem when they went back to school, and I thought, well, my kid's just gonna stare at this all day. What happened to this in a book or anything like that? You know, why is she not writing more things? And then when she comes home, she's doing her homework on there. And then her dad's yelling at her for being on the computer again all the time. Well, she's doing her homework. And then that's where they post all the work is on there. And so it's a perpetual problem. And you're right. If we just go with it because it's easy, it becomes the norm. And then that's what happens. So.
I don't think that I guess there's a difference between, I mean, staring at a screen is one thing, and versus being able to get out and interact with people. I get that, but there's also a difference between being on a device and being on Facebook and being subject to all that peer pressure and all that, and being on a device and doing homework. I do feel like there's a difference to that.
there's a big difference. It's still, I point well taken. I just think that there's just gotta be, if we're going to do our work on it, then our play probably has to be checked out. And also, I think maybe, I'd just like to know how much we are on devices in the school day.
And my question related to that was, what's this policy about teachers having their own phones in the classroom? Like, could a teacher give out a test and then sit at their desk and be on their phone? Is that like acceptable, or do we have rules about that?
It's not best practice.
So, like, if it's not an issue,
Honestly,
yeah.
it's not best. I would agree. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not your best practice, but I mean, I know that it happens.
We do have policy too, though, that addresses that to some degree, but I don't know how, we apply. We should stop, this is like something the public here in the building might want to discuss, so we could just say, there is a public comment on items not on the agenda or whatever, a public comment here.
Well, I saw a
right
hand
below.
go up.
I know, so this
Yeah.
would be a time to take potentially.
So there's a book called The Tech Solution. It's in the Florence Library. It's a very good book that talks exactly about how you live in modern society with screens, but without. It talks mainly about developing good habits. It's not about, you're not going to censor now the internet, it's a good loss of whatever. They're not going to censor the internet now for the kids or take away their phones. I feel like it's impractical, maybe. But they talk about how you should develop in your kids the habits of letting go of the screen on their own, not being captive to it.
Yeah.
But use it for what you need, and know that now I can use, that's at least what I do with my 6-year-old who control all of these devices. He knows when to stop. He needs to stop, not me tell him to stop. That's it. We set limits for our times, and we say, okay, 30 minutes, we're gonna do this activity, and that's what he does. So I feel like in the school setting is more about developing good habits around the phones, making the students, teenagers, aware of these statistics. If you are in a social network, these are the statistics. We didn't come up with this. It's facts, it's reality, and you need to deal with it because you're going to grow up in this world that has a lot of these screens, and you need to know how to not police yourself, but have it in a healthy way rather than where you can leverage it.
So it's almost like that becomes part of the curriculum,
It
teaching the
should
kids.
be.
Well,
Yeah.
for sure.
It should be.
Like it could be in the parameters of what you're,
But then the limits and the habits and creating good habits around it,
Yeah, totally.
around the use of it is, you can do quiet time in school, for example, maybe not all day, but a few hours of quiet time where no one does anything screen related, but it's something else.
Yeah, thanks. We'll keep this on it's a discussion item. I'd like it to turn into something that we don't just talk about it and then we go back to. And I know I've actually heard other staff members say it's a problem.
If I could share, at the beginning of the year for the middle school, high school, we came to some agreements and had very similar conversations about addiction to phones specifically, and landed on some agreements of they have to be out of sight or whatever that is, unless given permission explicitly within a class setting. Early on, we were better at that. I think through the course, and this happens in most school settings, kids just keep pulling them out, and then you're, so the locking them up versus the teaching the habits, like that is the like tension. And I will say it's not just phones. A lot of good things happen on devices in our school. And I would say one of the things that we're seeing is like, I'll say specifically middle school, but maybe everywhere, is the belief that they can multitask with playing music and doing the work, but what the reality is spending 30 of the minutes like fiddling with the music and not getting much productivity or thoughtfulness or any of those things. It's just it's a constant like play, and so we are having those conversations, and I will say people that were more on the like let's develop those habits and teach responsibility and those kind of things, I would put myself in that camp as well, are leaning much more towards the like, no, like we got to break some of these habits. I read an article, it actually might have been this morning, maybe last night, about like dopamine, and that like the research is showing that dopamine isn't really like, we talk about it as like the happy hormone kind of thing, and things that you enjoy causing dopamine, but it was talking about actually it's teaches you to desire, and so you may desire things that you don't actually like because that dopamine's high. And so like I speak to our phones, like I actually don't enjoy checking email all the time but I'm drawn to it and I desire to know and check that, and it's part of that response, similar to having a little bit of sugar, and so what do we do with that? I don't know how long ago, but when I was a teacher, there are some apps that you can teach kids to self-track their use, and so we'd have kids download their app onto their phone and or their device, and then self-report the amount they used it, and they were shocked at those numbers when we first started that, and so that became a way to kind of bring that number down and be aware first, and then set some goals. And I think it's both. Like it's definitely an issue. We do have a number of kids that is their lifeline to families. We have some parents who aren't as accommodating about calling the office and like, what do you mean my kid can't talk to me right now, kind of thing. It's like, we're teaching. So there's no easy solution to this, and I think but to the point of tracking that data, and what are we using the screen for that we think has value, and looking at that kind of cost benefit for each of those activities, like. The reality is we live in an electronic world. The reality is we live in an addicted to screens world, and so how do we like navigate that? I don't know the answer, but it's a it's work that we're working on.
And I think there are, like, the book Ami mentioned is like a part of a bigger sort of, there are, I'm sure, curriculums that focus on various aspects of that probably go K-12, in terms of, and potentially we could look at to get ideas about, that sort of seems like it fits us or doesn't or whatever, just to kind of further that discussion with, but we wouldn't be reinventing the wheel, because this is definitely something that people have put a lot of thought
I will share just a resource, and it's funny, I find myself trying to look it up to verify myself, and I can't right now, but I believe it's Common Sense Media has a lot of resources and curricula for teaching digital literacy and other things connected to digital literacy, but this is a component of that, is understanding screen time. So.
Well, really, it should be staff created. But I'm bringing it up to the board because I just think it's a thing we should be talking about, and also at some point we might want to join a class action suit, and that would be the board. But the curriculum and whatever it is you decide, I just think clearly you're already talking about it. So we're just going to.
I would add to staff. I think it actually has to be student decided too. Students understand this tension too, our older students, and I think bringing them into that process of like, so what do we do about it?
Yeah.
When we did earlier this year, we had a kind of by houses, ideas for improving the school kind of thing, and there was one group who talked about building a phone check-in locker and thought that was really important, and it was coming from kids, and so like they're not all fighting back. Even the one, and that was actually the kid leading that is like always on his phone, and so they know they need some of these supports too, and so I think that's a lot of the thing is bringing kids into the fold and saying like, how do we do this together to like make learning the key part of school, and
kids know they're not feeling good.
Yeah.
So, you know, and if you can say that this is a contributing to a person's mental health, well then, you know, let's do this thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been really quiet, but I just, like, you brought up, that's what I've been kind of waiting to say, that actually students are really well aware of this, and it actually would it'd be best for us to bring them in on the conversation. I don't think, just the nature of, like, the adults and the board, like, kind of coming down on them is already, like, just a recipe for rebellion, whether they agree or not. When they're already on board with this, there's a lot of the really young millennials and the older Gen Zers are just completely like desubscribing and deleting all of their socials because they are, and now that they're in their 20s, are like really feeling those effects of that burden of being that social media generation and just like how much pain they're in now. So so we have like the, you know, like a little bit older than our seniors that are already like making personal actions against that. And then also, I think I emailed out to you. Ramil shared the school newspaper, The Navigator, and there is an article in there written by our students about the dangerous effects of social media and screen time. So we need to bring them into the conversation. I don't know if that means like a youth council situation or like maybe it needs to be like a community-based conversation and not just like a bunch of adults coming down on kids. That's not going to go well.
No, excellent point.
And they're on board.
And their parents. I mean, you know.
Yes, 100%.
And there will be, there's pushback from parents, no question. I mean, we're all part of the problem. So yes, a community discussion, and I mean, just what a better way to empower kids than to point to them and ask for direction.
Yeah.
You know, you help us.
One of the kids at the rhododendron coronation was asked the question by the panel, what do you think is one of the greatest potential barriers and issues facing the youth today? And he mentioned screen time, because he's like, I actually joined rhododendron court because I needed to figure out how to interact with people and do all of these things, and I wanted to go meet, you know, our representatives and go to the Capitol and actually have to go and like mentor a young kid because I like don't talk to anybody because I do everything through my phone, and I realize how detrimental that is. And he said that in front of an audience of like 500 people, you know. So I mean, they're here, they're ready for it.
Yeah, great. And plenty of them are not ready, and they don't.
Yeah, but peers talking about it is very impactful versus adults coming at them.
Absolutely true. No, nothing better.
Yeah, love it.
That's a good point. Yep. Well, we're moving forward.
Yes.
We're not static, and that's a good thing.
Ami, did you see the name of the tech solution?
The tech solution.
Okay, thanks.
We still have restorative justice and practices on here. Is that because we
we said move it to the next agenda, but then we talked for a second. I don't know that I have anything else. I could say it again, but it was like the point was
I remember.
building that community that you can then restore. And
so we can leave it on here, and as we are building that community, you can give us updates on how this is looking. Fantastic. All right, we have another public comment section. Anything from the peanut gallery over there? Okay. Comments from the board? We'll have a comment.
Oh, yeah, okay, go.
Well, I think it's well known that this is Mary Ellen's last board meeting. And we really want to just acknowledge your incredible help and understanding and perspective and just the way that you have fed this group of people making decisions about our beloved little school district. Mary Ellen, you will be sorrowfully missed. There are things that you bring to the board that nobody else has any game in at all. So it will be a big hole in that way. I mean, we're super stoked to have Abby take your seat. You guys bring different things for sure. But I just really want to say thank you for inserting yourself into this little movie. It's really been a pleasure, and the way that you directed and helped us pick a superintendent was masterful. Hurting all of us cats for a year or more. And
You actually had a heck of a year last year with multiple things going on. I thought you did a great job. I didn't envy everything you had to do last year. So.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. I believe in Mapleton and where it's going with Sue at the helm and the community that supports it. And you know, I selfishly, a piece of why I wanted to be on the board was to meet people, because you know, I work from home in my little East Mapleton house and see my husband and nobody else. So it's been really good for me to meet people that I can now call friends. And you know, you guys know where I am, and I'm always. We're not going anywhere. We're around, and we want to be part of the community. So
yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I think we have a plaque. Don't we have?
What did you joke to? There you go. Jared comes with
He
gifts.
does. He does.
It's not the pine.
It's not far.
Thank you. That's what she did.
But she doesn't get the little thing.
Apparently not, we're being
We
frugal.
gotta put the next one.
That's for Abby.
Abby's is gonna just be on the table flat. We only have so much in our budget.
no, I have my picture from the Board Appreciation Month.
Yeah.
I love that. I have it on my desk.
Yeah,
I have that too.
Yeah.
Now you can put this over the top of it.
Well, you're welcome to come and be in the audience anytime. I'm
That's
sure that you'll
Especially
make it.
those ones that go till like 9 at night.
Yeah.
I'm
gotta stay there
things
full
like
time.
budget
Policy
committee and stuff
review.
like
Policy
that.
review.
Definitely going to bug you for that.
Speaking of which, I'll have those in August. So
Policies?
stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got more done.
They
Policies
always
is my
do come
favorite.
around again.
I was really enjoying this agenda. Right?
Yeah.
I know. I'm just like, I just looked at my clock. I'm like, what?
Well, I do believe we have an executive session, don't we? Or do we not?
I don't know if we do.
Oh,
We couldn't
Wow.
figure out. We might. I think we're just quick tonight. We need to schedule the other.
Oh,
You have
yeah,
to schedule
yeah.
the other one. I
Well,
think that was the only one, right?
yeah, yes.
But that's
So
what, tonight?
the last bit of business is to discuss a year-end conversation with Sue and the board about Sue's first year. So I sent you dates, which none of you responded to, you naughty
You
board
said
members.
come with the calendar here.
I did, but I also
Yesterday
sent
I
some-
didn't have my calendar.
The first.
That was the second email I sent you.
It was the second one. Because she didn't say when on the first one. And then no one
I said
answered, so she
ASAP,
said, we're
but-
doing it.
Right. So let's see. Those dates are Monday, June 26th. No,
Yeah, okay.
No, these are all evening times, right?
that's
6
what I've
p.m.
got. But I mean, this is going to be an in-person meeting, and I just figured you folks that work jobs, we should do an evening meeting. So June 26th, that's a Monday, Wednesday, June 28th, or Thursday, June 29th. Do those work for you folks?
Any of them work for me, so.
Great.
Yeah, I'd prefer the 20th or the 29th.
Okay.
Do you prefer the 28 or 29?
Oh, actually, the 29th, we're gone into Brookings, so the 28th.
Wednesday, the 28th. Does that work for everybody? Can everybody be there?
You too.
Yeah, I have another board meeting, but I can maybe leave early. The 26th is the best for me. The 29th is my birthday, so I'm not going to be doing
Oh.
school board business on my birthday.
All right.
But the 28th I can make work
Does
if that's the
26th
only
work?
thing. If that's the only day I can do the 28th, what time were you gonna do?
We're
Like,
saying 6. What time is your meeting?
well, I mean, it starts at 4, but they go a while, so I can maybe get out early. Yeah. We can, we can make it
I
work.
can do the 26th.
Does Monday work for people, the 26th? Does that work for you, Mary Ellen, or?
I'm not
Andy?
saying yes or no, but I will note the time.
Right.
That's my commitment right now. I will make note of the time.
Yes, I know.
Michelle
We're
and I
gonna-
had a discussion
We
today.
did, but I'm feeling more like leaning on you.
You were a good
Yeah.
negotiator or
Yeah.
Badgering to include you. What do you say?
So,
on Monday the 26th?
What's the earliest people can go that day?
I mean, I can
I
do it
could-
anytime.
I can do any time. If you wanna go earlier, so you're
what's
busy
the
on the
conflict on the
26th?
26th? Or, because
It's
I,
amazing. It's not bad. I can do the 26th.
We can go a
It's-
different time.
yeah, what's,
I'm all for earlier.
Like
Oh,
4?
cool.
What about 4?
yeah, on the 26th?
Yeah. Does it work
Yes.
for everybody?
Yeah.
4 on the 26th.
Yes, that's way better.
Yes.
Yeah, instead of 6.
All right,
Yes.
4 p.m. in Mapleton. We're gonna do this in person. Cool.
So
4
not up
o'clock.
Indian Creek where I can walk, that's fine.
And is it an executive session or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 26.
All right. 4 p.m. Monday, the 26th. Okay, good.
That's way better.
If there are no other comments or
Well, only really quick, just that like we did finish a year and whew, there was a lot that got done in the year and good job and thank you. And Darren too on there. Yep.
A lot of good things.
And yeah, can I jump in? This is board comment. Can I say something?
please.
Oh, I was just gonna, like, we haven't formally recognized, but Brenda has retired and is coming back on half-time, so not just finished.
Slacker duty.
Yeah, no. But not just finished a year, but finished a lot of years.
Like a legacy.
Yeah, finished a
Yeah.
career there, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
and
do
I'm
we-
so glad you're not. I'm so glad that you are. I feel like you're. We still get a lot of goodness from you, but because you're still gonna
I'm
be
excited
part of it. But
about
also,
all the above.
but also just to. I mean, I don't know. The 30 years, right? Yeah.
It's more than that.
My mind is just like.
I
blown
opened
and
this swimming pool
boggling.
December 1st, 1985.
Yeah.
And I've basically worked, there was only about less than a year period that I didn't work significantly at this school.
So
And
my
so my
mind is just like
purse says
blown
it's
by.
34 plus years.
Yeah, right. But I'm thinking about all of the kids that went through that aren't kids anymore. That you have
Yeah.
I know, I said when I've got
And
grandkids, I'm done.
Yeah,
Not quite, but.
but it's just
So thank you. Yeah, it's been a good-
it's just a huge, awesome, amazing accomplishment in a life well, shared with people.
I've been blessed.
So
Thank you.
Very
for
Yeah.
that.
Do
well,
we get
so
to have
sweet.
a
But also
retirement
not-
party, or does that happen after you actually?
In 10 years.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
that's like actual
Because
retirement.
you're not really retiring.
I'm
I mean,
53, so
Yeah.
I'm not ready to retire, but I'm excited about seeing what interests I have. I've got 2 kayaks, I've got books that I've been putting off. I like to walk. My mother lives up the road. I'm gonna walk with her once a week. I've got friends to walk with. I've got things to do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go start them. But I'm also gonna be half-time or more, so it's good.
Yeah, you're a lifer.
It's a win-win, I know.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Really.
Yeah,
No, thank you. It's been, I've
I've
been blessed.
Yeah.
Well, so has everybody who's been, influenced by you for all those years,
A
Yeah.
lot of good memories.
including me when I was little and now.
Yeah, known you for a few days.
Yeah, really no better kid advocate in Mapleton, I think, than you. Really, really rely on you and have all these years. So it's pretty.
I always
Pretty
felt like
impressive.
it wasn't even a job. It was just,
Those are the best
fun.
ones.
Yeah, I coached 24 seasons in 14 years. Teaching was part of it too, but a lot of hours on a bus, a lot of hours with kids.
Coaching.
And now I have a grandson who's going into 1st grade and I'm gonna volunteer in his classroom. Watch out, 4J. Which, actually Bethel.
Oh, isn't that
Nice.
He's in Bethel.
awesome?
Oh, it's exciting. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And also, we'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll see you next meeting or whatever. That's great.
It's just time. It's exciting. You know what? Whoever
They're
gets
done. We
the-
lost them. Like, we got our public comment, now we're done.
All right.
After you guys are done.
No, we're not done. We're going to be done momentarily.
Wait, hold on, Michelle, would you start the beginning of this meeting over about the roles and about the seriousness and about how we're not gonna chit chat?
Business, only business.
Well, then you should have said it
Yeah,
out
do the
loud.
public
so we could have heard.
Yeah, you guys are-
All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor, yay, thank you so much. Thanks for showing up,
Wonderful
y'all.